Hello everyone, I'm Dana Perino along with Andrea Tanteros, Juan Williams, Eric Bowling, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. Well, it's a moment we've all been waiting for. Will she or won't she run for president again? Today is the official release of Hillary Clinton's new book, Hard Choices. She's hit the TV circuit to promote it. Is she dropping any clues, though, as to whether or not she's made a decision?
The reason I called this book Hard Choices is because that's what any president faces.
Aha! One thing she did drop, the surprising comment during Diane Sawyer's interview about her and President Clinton's finances.
We came out of the White House not only dead broke, but in debt. We had no money when we got there, and we struggled to, piece together the resources for mortgages, for houses, for Chelsea's education. It was not easy.
After an immediate backlash and ridicule for that comment, she tried to smooth it out in another interview this morning.
For me, it's just a reality. What we faced when he got out of the White House meant that we had to just keep working really hard. We always have. That's who we are. As I recall, we were something like $12 million in debt. And, that was something that we really had to work hard. And I was in the Senate and could not do anything to help us meet those obligations. We also have gone through some of the same challenges as many people have.
Yes, Greg, I'm sure you can. Are you relating to this empathy that she was trying to?
She speaks my language. She says exactly what I'm thinking. Will she or won't she? Who cares? This is not like Sam and Diane in Cheers. Just tell us what you're going to do. What bothers me most is when she keeps saying, she's always referencing her book, that it's hard to be president, that you make these hard choices, as if we weren't aware of this. We always thought that being president was somehow a cakewalk. I don't want to walk onto an airplane and have the pilot standing there and going, oh man, flying a plane is hard. Getting that thing up in the sky, I don't even know how I do it. Seriously, she's the leader, she's going to be the leader of the free world. That doesn't instill any confidence, walking around telling me it's hard. It's actually vaguely sexist.
Well, we're going to have a little comment about that in the next block.
Because it seems that she can't do it.
Let me ask you, Andrea, that given this is the big day for the rollout, I don't think that she anticipated the ferocious response to her saying that they were dead broke. And so that's probably not the book rollout she anticipated, for today at least.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous, and most people know it. I think it also shows how completely out of touch she is. I don't think anyone thought that the Clintons at any point in the last decade have been flat broke. In fact, the Daily News, which when she was senator was her hometown paper, just a couple months out of office, they called them, quote, famously wealthy. And when Mrs. Clinton claimed to be flat broke, they took a vacation to the Dominican Republic with a motorcade that was so large it almost ran over somebody. So she's the only person, Dana, living in a $1.7 million mansion on a salary of $145,000, $300,000 combined, having a her husband, I'm sorry, was $800,000 a year to rent his Harlem office space. Remember that?
Yes, that was a big controversy.
Who considers themselves to be flat broke. And this is the problem with Hillary Clinton. When she does interviews, and I do think she is campaigning right now. They've never stopped campaigning. She's not a good candidate. She's not a good campaigner. When she starts to open up, this is when gaffes are made and she starts to reveal who she really is and really just how out of touch the Clintons are, especially her. I think Bill probably would not say anything like this.
Eric, if you were a financial advisor to the Clintons, when they're coming out of the White House, yes, they definitely had debt, but you would have, I guess, advised them that you're going to be fine given the potential you have to make it all up, including before you even leave the White House with a $8 million book deal.
$8 million book deal. Hillary Clinton charges $200,000 for a 1-hour speech.
At least. Sometimes, and maybe not for all, but there have been reports of higher fees.
It's estimated that Bill has put together $100 million since he left. But I'm a little concerned because I'm trying to piece this all together. She originally said when we left the White House we were dead broke, right? Yeah. She didn't accumulate that $11 million debt until she ran for president in 2008. Am I right? Isn't that when she had that $11 million debt?
It's a different bucket of debt. The original debt was from the
From what? The legal problems with Whitewater and all the... So, okay. All right, fine. If that's the case, then, okay, so you're in debt. But she has to know the minute a president, especially after 2 terms, 8 years in office, there's a huge bucket of gold waiting for you to be thrown into your lap. So this is less than less of feel sorry for me, we were dead broke, and more about let's change the discussion. Let's talk about anything but Benghazi right now, because Benghazi isn't working for me. So let's talk about my money problems.
I do think it's interesting, Juan, that it seems that maybe they hadn't prepped her, or that she hadn't thought that this was a question that she was going to get. Maybe not. Maybe they didn't anticipate, or maybe she had a different answer, or maybe they thought to their ears it sounded okay, and that when they said it out loud, it was something that they didn't anticipate. I wanted to get your comment on that, as well as one other thing. You covered Bill Clinton as president, and one of the things as a politician, he's always known for somebody who could feel your pain, right? That he was empathetic, and that is something that you have. It's somewhat inherent. It's not necessarily a skill that you learn. Do you think that Hillary Clinton maybe doesn't have that empathetic gene?
Well, she doesn't fill the room the way that Bill does. I mean, literally, Bill walks in, and if you walked into the studio right now, everybody know, hey, that's Bill Clinton. What a guy, right? I mean, there's no question Bill could get the plane up, Greg. You know, I mean, no question.
You can feel your pain
and
your butt.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, that's right. So the thing about Hillary, though, you guys are saying, oh, she didn't anticipate this. Look, I mean, gosh.
No, I'm just curious as to why they seem to fumble.
You're right when you say, I don't think they anticipated the question, because I don't think she handled it well. But I think you're wrong when the idea that somehow they didn't anticipate that there was going to be tremendous blowback from the right, no matter what she said or did. I mean, Benghazi's still out there, right? Don't forget that she's supposed to be brain damaged. Don't forget that. Don't forget that she controlled Vanity Fair when the Lewinsky story came out. So there are people always attacking her, and I'm not sure it doesn't rebound to her benefit. It doesn't make her more of what she loves to be, which is the victim.
I don't know. I think that obviously they're going to sell a lot of books, and they should. And some of the excerpts that I read last week I thought were pretty good, but the reviews, Greg, of the book are really not very good.
The reviews are the fact that it's empty and it feels as spontaneous as a continental drift. It's as though every word is scripted like a fortune cookie. If they made this book into a movie, it would be a 3-hour test pattern. But I think Juan is correct. You have to be very careful because, you know, if you keep going after her and after and after her, it will make her look sympathetic. To Eric's point, it is true. The mistake about talking about them being broke is that everybody knows that becoming president it's the Powerball jackpot for the power hungry. It is better than winning the lottery. Think about when President Obama leaves, he's going to get $500,000 when he belches. There's going to be, I mean, it's just like he'll be the first billionaire, the first president.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. If Clinton doesn't beat him to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're going to put $2 billion in campaign money to get whatever. Yeah, I agree with you. He'll put together.
And you know what? He's going to be a worldwide sensation.
Can I the Amazon reviews? Did you see the reviews for the book? Did you hear about
I've read some of them, yeah.
57 reviews when I checked. It was about an hour and a half ago. 2 out of 5 stars on average it gets, and some of them were like this. It's trash, save your money. Disappointing, campaign propaganda, and the one I like the best, this should be called a work of fiction.
Because, you know why? Because it assumes that we're stupid. It assumes that we don't know what she's trying to do. I mean, the book doesn't know what it's supposed to be. Most people put out a book, and they're pretty, I don't want to say open with what they're trying to do, but everyone knows that the Clintons are constantly calculating every single move, whether it's selling books, which they've done most of their lives, or whether it's running for the next office. So she's not really being authentic, I think, in the interviews. The reason I think we need to call her on this comment about the rich is because imagine if a Republican would have said it. Yeah. And Republicans have. And George Bush Sr. made a comment about a supermarket scanner that arguably derailed his entire candidacy. So I think she's trying to be relatable. I don't think she's trying to distract from Benghazi. She's trying, but every time Hillary tries, she fails. She tried to, I don't know what she was trying to do when she made the comment about staying home and baking cookies, but when Hillary is Hillary, she offends. She offends stay-at-home moms. She offends, you know, military families.
It's that empathy thing I was talking about.
She doesn't have it, and I wouldn't say that whatever the analogy you used for her husband, he gets the plane up or whatever, I wouldn't say that about Bill, but when Bill used to jog, remember, he used to go out for runs, and he has this natural authenticity that people love, and she doesn't have it, and she's trying to, but it's just not there, and so she offends, again, people who are actually struggling and dead broke.
I think about this book. I think that the book is all about making her more human and approachable and kind of bringing her down to size. That's why it's not about the policy stuff. And the failure of the book in terms of the reviews, which I must say come from Democrats and Republicans, that it's not an exciting book, is that she comes across as someone who's saying, you know, I'm a human being, I'm in here, and I got really tired, and there were times when I felt terrible, and there are times when I had to go see Barack Obama about this charge that my campaign was racist, or they asked me to say something nasty about Sarah Palin, and I refused. I said, you want me to attack her because she's a woman, which Sarah Palin, by the way, has been tweeting about all day. But there is a human side that she's trying to get out there, and I think that speaks to your thing. People don't feel like they know her, like they can be her friend, and she wants...
I disagree. I actually think that people were reminded last night in that interview that they know her very well, and that they're reminded that, oh, this is why in 2008 the Democrats chose Obama over Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
Because the vim and vigor, the excitement, the new... What Hillary Clinton... She was trying to do too many things in this book. In my opinion. There's the This Was My State Department World book, and then there's the book that people write when they're going to run for president. So there's The Audacity of Hope, or A Charge to Keep. I can't remember what Bill Clinton's was, but as governors, you know, they get Scott Walker wrote a book this year called Ryan. They're all writing books, but there are books about they're forward-looking. And one of the complaints in this book for people that were looking to see if there were clues that she's going to run is that there's nothing there. Now, maybe that book wasn't meant to do that. But they let the expectation be there that it was.
It's always about character in these presidential books. That you have to get, the person who's running says, here's my character. Here's the small-town boy who made good, or the small-town girl in this case. And the big difference with the Republicans, you say it's a double standard, Andrea.
It is.
Guess what? The Republicans are always seen as running a plutocrat, or, you know, like Romney or McCain, and talking about all his houses. That's not
it's
a
like
knock
John
on
Edwards.
Democrats.
Why is it always an issue when it's a Republican, but you're going to have someone with massive wealth?
Who do you think represents
like
the rich in
Clintons,
America?
and you don't hear the press covering it the way that they did when it's a Republican.
What's the given?
Even if he made it on his own, not being a career politician.
Isn't it the given in American politics? The narrative is Republicans represent the rich.
That's because the media builds that narrative.
That's right.
There's more money in these campaigns coming from really wealthy Democrats. You look at the Clintons, you look at the Kerrys, you look at the Soros. They shield their wealth with this guilt-ridden leftism. The other thing, though, is we have to remember this election is historic. She could be America's first robot president.
What do you mean by that?
Because what you just said from the book, it is so it's so sterile and it's so cold. And the one thing that really bugged me is how she criticizes the Bush doctrine in the book while adopting almost every part of his foreign policy. I mean, they didn't get rid of drones. They just treated it like a new form of outreach. They still kept Gitmo open. Everything that worked under Bush, they kept. It's okay to use the Bush doctrine unless Bush is doing it.
And then you have to say that you're different and distant.
Exactly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I followed.
Slowly.
Perfectly.
I'm a bit confused.
Hey. Okay. We got to move on. Next, Clinton says her